By day 3 of last summer's heat wave, the rooftop units were cycling constantly, and during a routine generator test, a small backup failed. Tenants lost point of sale and telehealth appointments for hours, not because something unpredictable happened, but because stress found the weakest links.
No way.
That's rough. Been there. Small drifts in schedules and a missed maintenance window, and suddenly it's measurable pain.
Welcome to Built, Wired, and Secured. I'm Alex Morgan. Today we're translating predictable stress, heat spikes, move-ins, holiday peaks, into simple operational habits that prevent those stories from happening to you.
Good to be here. Let's make this useful, short, measurable, and repeatable.
And practical. No one wants a checklist that sits in a drawer. We want actions you can run this week.
Quick scene setting. When a predictable surge hits, 3 things usually show up as troublemakers: mechanical capacity, controls drift, and comms fragility. Michael, why do those 3 cascade so often?
Because they interact. A marginal chiller hits thermal limits, BAS reacts and reassigns loads, and an under-tested UPS or Wi-Fi controller trips under the shifted demand. Vendors with weekday SLAs might be slow during a weekend surge, so the initial fault becomes a multi-system outage. Tenants feel it immediately.
Right. And on campuses, add human behavior. Thermostats get overridden, temporary loads pop up, and circuits get topped for temporary rigs. Everything that was close enough during regular weeks suddenly isn't.
Those are clear patterns. Let's get concrete early. What are measurable checks teams should run? Michael, give us 2 numbers someone can act on right now.
Validate your backup power at 80% of expected peak for 2 hours. And for comms, simulate a 30% increase in client connections on your Wi-Fi controller and watch for latency spikes. If you can pass those, you have confidence. If not, you're about to learn where to invest.
Those are testable and fast. Even a half-day validation gives you far more insight than guessing.
Okay, trade-offs. Full redundancy is expensive. Michael, you've said before, what breaks if this goes down? Walk us through the tiered approach.
Tier 1. Critical tenant-facing systems. Invest in redundancy or tested manual modes. Tier 2. Important but not catastrophic. Stage spares on site and have documented swap procedures. Tier 3. Low impact. Fast repair plans and prioritize dispatch. It's about impact and recoverability, not equal treatment for everything.
That's how we actually make budgets sing. Small, targeted moves with big ROI. Put spares where failure costs the most.
Now, a point of friction, load testing. Michael, you've been adamant about realistic load tests. James, you've raised concerns about cost for smaller owners. Let's hash that out.
I hear you, but smaller owners often won't rent a load bank or pull vendors for a full-range test. Cost and logistics block them. Saying you must rent a load bank is easy. Making it feasible is harder.
Fair point. So here's the compromise. Stage a progressive approach. Start with a partial load test using on-site tenant loads you can safely simulate, aim for 50-60%, and schedule a rented load bank for a single annual deeper test. Partner with a vendor who will co-schedule during shoulder seasons when rates are lower. It costs less than an outage.
Okay, that's workable. A 2-step plan. Quick internal simulation weekly or monthly, and a focused rented test annually. Owners get meaningful confidence without a huge one-time bill.
Good, realistic, and testable. Let's move to an operational playbook. 3 practical buckets teams can act on in the week before a predicted surge. James, lead us.
Start with validation, staging, communication. Validation. Run your key systems under simulated load. Generator, chillers, BAS, network edge. Staging. Have quick swap kits, contactors, drives, UPS batteries, and a labeled spares chest. Communication. A 1-page tenant vendor template that explains what you'll do, who to call, and expected timelines. Assign names to each task and lock them into the calendar.
Add simple pass-fail metrics. Can the generator hold 80% for 2 hours? Can the BAS keep temps within plus or minus 2 degrees Fahrenheit of set points under increased load? Can the network handle a 30% connection surge without packet loss spikes? Those answers make decisions easy.
Those metrics make the playbook objective, not opinion-based. Quick question. What does a tenant communication template include? Michael?
3 bullet items: what happened, what we're doing, and who to contact. Add expected timelines and a brief note on escalation ownership. Keep it short. Tenants read the first 2 lines, not the appendix.
And for move-ins, include a hotline and an on-site triage window, first 72 hours. We had a triage team for power tops and temporary cooling. It kept small problems from turning into complaints.
2 quick examples that illustrate the value. Michael, go.
A mixed-use building scheduled a generator and rooftop unit load test pre-summer. The test revealed an intermittent contactor on an RTU. They swapped the part, reran the test, and when a real heat spike hit 2 weeks later, systems held and tenants stayed online. That single preseason test saved weeks of disruption.
And on a campus move-in, we staged temporary network gear and an on-site triage team for 72 hours. The first day had a lot of small requests: power taps, thermostat overrides, added Wi-Fi nodes, and because we triaged them immediately, nothing cascaded. The best day in operations is the one nobody notices.
All right, 3 immediate actions you can take this week. 1, run a short tabletop asking, what breaks if this goes down? And pick your top 3 critical items. 2, schedule a targeted validation test for one critical system. Aim for that 80% 2-hour generator check or a 30% network connection simulation. 3, prepare and send a tenant/vendor communication template and confirm escalation ownership.
Make sure your vendor contact list is current and someone's named to escalate. Administrative friction eats minutes during outages. Minutes cost money.
And run at least 1 joint dry run a year with facilities and IT in the same room. Walk the checklist together. You'll catch assumptions you didn't know you had.
If you want a ready-made starting point, GDS Technology has a 1-page seasonal readiness checklist with the validation steps, spare parts list, and a tenant communication template. Download it and put those 3 actions on your calendar this week.
Predictable stress becomes manageable when you treat it as an operational milestone, not an emergency. Test your assumptions before the season shows up.
Small, repeatable steps build resilience. Stage the right spares, run the right tests, and keep communications simple. Reliability starts with disciplined maintenance.
That wraps up this episode of Built, Wired, and Secured. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us. Michael, James, thank you both. Until next time, make sure the systems you're responsible for are built to last, wired with intention, and secured for the real world.